today's edition of the Writer's Clinic. In today's episode, we are going to look at how to make money using folktales. Why should we be importing animated films based on European folktales? Why should our children watch cartoons made from European folk stories such as Cinderella, Jack and the Beanstalk, Sleeping Beauty, and Snow White? Why are we not making animation films based on our own folk stories such as Anakamuna and Anakanani, Simbi or Simbi Nyaima, Nyaga na Wamweru, or Rugano Wanjiru? How can we bring our culture to the high table of world cultures and mine it for economic purposes? These are serious questions that all of us in the academy, film industry, and entertainment industry should ask ourselves. It is very interesting that since oral literature was introduced in school syllabus in the 80s, it has simply ended in the English classroom and the examination day. Our inability to commercialize this genre to create wealth is unfortunate, to say the least. Oral literature is a gold mine for all those interested in using indigenous knowledge to make money. The truth is that folk stories are very popular with children and can be made into good books, films, and cartoons for all of us. Let me tell you about the experiment I carried out a few years ago. I set out to discover which type of stories are preferred by children. I put together 10 Standard 4 pupils and gave them 2 books to read. One was a modern story about events familiar to children in modern times. The other one was a folk story. After reading the 2 stories, I asked the children to tell me which one of the 2 books they preferred most. They all agreed that the 2 storybooks were interesting, but they preferred the folk story. The thought that modern children cannot identify with African folk stories is therefore a big joke. Folktales are fulfilling and enriching to children. Of all the experiences that children are exposed to, nothing parallels the enchanting lessons from the folk stories. Folk stories told in books and animation films are therapeutic and help us find meaning in life. They are the most effective means of influencing children's behavior positively. They present to the child everlasting images and models for emulation. In short, folk stories have the capacity to bring grace and wisdom to young hearts. These stories do not just teach, but are also entertaining and arouse curiosity in the children. Besides, they also enrich the children's lives by stimulating their imagination. More importantly, folk stories help clarify disturbing emotions. That is why writers who imitate the endearing qualities of folk stories produce great literature. Two characteristics that make folk stories stand out from all the other genres of children's entertainment is magic and fantasy. These two qualities open up unlimited possibilities in the children's imagination. Writers and filmmakers need to borrow the endearing qualities of folk stories. They have to appreciate the fact that without fantasy and magic, they cannot capture children's imagination. Let me ask, what is so special about Harry Potter? J.K. Rowling's series, which chronicles the adventures of the wizard called Harry Potter, is successful because of its folk story qualities. The popularity of Harry Potter should teach us about the enduring qualities of folk stories. Folk stories will always remain a goldmine for African filmmakers and animators. This is what will lead to our cultural emancipation from European cultural domination. Filmmakers who want big money have a great opportunity of drawing from our folktales to create rich films. I have to confess today that I am addicted to cartoons, and I'm always in good company when watching them. Today, I want to throw a challenge to all teachers and filmmakers to explore the world of folk stories and create films. Importing animated films based on European folk stories is simply shameful. On that note, we come to the end of today's edition of the Writers' Clinic, in which we focused on the importance of folk tales. On behalf of my crew, Neka and Pami, I would like to invite you to share, like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. This episode is coming to you from Kahawa Sukari Estate, Kahawa Sukari Avenue 1335. See you again next time.